Hi guys, and welcome back to Naturally Ellie. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade natural all-purpose surface cleaner. So you see I have my ingredients set up here. I have two different types of alcohol and I'm only going to use one of them, but it does make a difference which one you use, and I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. I've mentioned a couple of times in some of my other videos that I do have a cleaner that I use myself. So I figured now with everything going on, people going crazy because of coronavirus and buying up all of the disinfectants and cleaners and things like that, I figured I would show you how to make your own at home with things that you probably already have if you've already started on this journey, or you just may have on hand. So to get started, we're going to use alcohol, and you'll see I have 70% alcohol and 91% alcohol. Now, the 70% I think is the most common to find in most stores. So you'll, not right now because everything is kind of wiped out. I already, as I said, had these on hand. But most of the time when you go to the store, you'll find the 70%. Now the 70% is not bad. You just have to know that when you're adding all of the other ingredients, you're breaking down the disinfecting properties or quality of the alcohol. So that's why I have the 91% alcohol. So the higher the percentage that you start with, the higher it will be after you add the rest of your ingredients. If you're just looking to clean, the 70 is fine. If you really want a disinfectant, go for the 91%. It's just as cheap. It's not any more expensive than the 70%. But again, if you don't already have it on hand, it's going to be harder to find. You just need to play with your ratios of all of the ingredients together. So to the alcohol, we're going to add some water, some Castile soap. This is Dr. Bronner's. If you have any other that you want to use, you can use that. So this is my Dr. Bronner's. This is the baby unscented. There are different ones that you can get. So I'm going to be adding tea tree and lavender essential oil. I know Dr. Bronner's does come in lavender, so if you want to get the Dr. Bronner's lavender instead of adding the essential oils, that can get you 2-in-1. There are other scents you can use, and just again, whatever you have on hand. If you have it on hand already, don't feel like you have to go for the unscented one. That's just the one that I have on hand because I use it for multitude of things, different ways of cleaning things. So I get the unscented so that if I want to add my oils, I can change up the scent whenever I want. So I also have a plastic bottle. I've already mentioned to you guys before that it's really best to use glass bottles. I still have not bought my glass bottles. I'm going to be investing in them soon, but since this is what I have on hand, this is what I'm going to be using. So you want to have a spray bottle. If you don't have a spray bottle, just get yourself a bottle that you can pour the liquid onto paper towels or the surface, or an all-purpose reusable rag that you're using to clean, and that should suffice. So again, as I said, I should be using all glass, and including my measuring cup. I'm using my plastic one instead of my glass one because the glass one is really big and I really don't need that much for what we're doing today. So to get started, as I mentioned, you want to use 91% alcohol if you can. If not, then the 70 works, but you're going to have to tweak the other ingredients so that you have still a high alcohol content. You want to make sure that you have at least 60% alcohol in whatever your finished product is, and the way you calculate that is by the ratio of alcohol to everything else. The best way to do something that if you really want it, a disinfectant, like if you were making a hand sanitizer, and I can show you how to do that in another video, you want to make sure you're using a 2-to-1 ratio of water to 91% alcohol so that you get that 60% disinfectant alcohol. But the recipe I'm using does not call for that. I think I'm going to up the amount of alcohol that I am using though, because normally when I make it, I use only a half a cup of alcohol with 2 cups of water. So I think I'm going to switch that up and add a little more alcohol with everything going on. And let's get started. So let me open my bottle. And I should be using a funnel for this, so give me one moment. Okay, so I have my funnel. Again, it's plastic, shame on me, I know. But you want to take your alcohol. And I will put the recipe in the description down below with the tweak that I'm making right now. Okay, so that was a 1/2 cup of alcohol. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of water. Okay, let me just close this up because I'm getting the fumes from the alcohol, so let's close that up. So the recipe that I normally use calls for 6 to 8 drops of soap, but I'm going to be cutting my recipe in half with a tweak, as I mentioned. So I'm going to be putting the original recipe with the one that I'm making right now. So I'm only going to use 3 to 4 drops of soap in this one. So the soap is very thin and it runs very quickly, so use your best judgment. Okay, and then it calls for about 10 drops, 5 to 10 drops of essential oil. Again, if you get the Dr. Bronner's lavender soap or a different scented soap, then you can skip the essential oils. I am using the tea tree because the tea tree is also a bit of a disinfectant. So I'm using this to make sure that my surfaces are getting disinfected as well as cleaned. Use a bit more than I normally would, but I don't know why it would. I'm not sure why it wasn't pouring the way it normally should. And then just a few drops of the lavender, again, more for the scent than for anything else. Okay, so that was 5 drops of lavender. Then you put your spray nozzle on. And you want to make sure that you shake it up before you use it. I normally put a label, so I will show you. Where did I put it? So this is the one that I've normally been using. You can see I have my label on here. It says what I've put in it. If I decide to change up the scent, or if, like in this one, I made it a little more of a disinfectant, so I made it a little stronger. You know, I can put that on the label and I know what I'm using and to be mindful of it. So what do I use this for? I use this to clean my mirrors, my bathroom counters and sinks, the bathtub, the toilet. I will use it in the kitchen to clean the counters and the stovetop. I've already shared my DIY natural cleaner for the oven on my website and my blog, so you can go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But I'm going to have to be taking 2 very quick road trips in the coming days. So I'm going to also use this in my car to make sure that the dashboard, the steering wheel, the panels, everything in the car is clean. I make sure you clean my phone. It's very important with the whole coronavirus thing that's going on, and you know, you keep hearing wash your hands, wash your hands. One thing that people are not really saying that I think goes without saying, but I will say just in case somebody needs to hear it, you need to clean your phone. You can wash your hands all day, every day, but if you're washing your hands and going back to touch a dirty phone, you're just going to pick those germs back up. So I do use my cleaner to clean my phone. My phone is waterproof, so I just do a quick spray, wipe it down, wipe the phone and the case inside and out. I will use it to clean my laptop, my keyboard, my mouse, and basically any surface area that needs to be cleaned. I use this. I don't use it on fabric. It's, you know, water and alcohol based, so you don't want to put that on fabric. Another thing to keep in mind when you're deciding whether to use the 70 or the 91, besides the strength of your disinfectant is 91%. Alcohol has a higher flammable rate than the 70%. So when you're storing it, you want to keep that in mind. Make sure it's not going to be somewhere where it's going to be around a lot of heat and can catch fire. So I store mine here in the bathroom. I have a very big a dual sink area before you get to the tub, so even if I'm taking a hot shower, it doesn't get so hot in here that I'm worried about. I will check the temperatures at which these catch fire, so that I'll put that in the description below so that you have that information available to you. And that's it. Very simple, quick and easy. You saw how fast I made that. There's quite a bit in here. It does last a while. Obviously with the whole coronavirus going on and people cleaning a bit more frequently than they normally do, you may find it going faster right now than normal. When I'm cooking, I clean before I cook and after I cook, so I'm using this all the time and it lasts a fairly decent amount of time. So there you have it. All natural, do-it-yourself disinfectant cleaner. Again, the disinfectant property is dependent on the alcohol you use and the ratio of alcohol to the other ingredients. So I used a 2-to-1 ratio of water to alcohol. Again, I added tea tree oil, which also has some disinfecting properties. I can show you how to make your own natural hand sanitizer as well. It's using some of the same ingredients. Actually no, it's mostly the alcohol that I have here, but I'll do a separate video on that so that you have that as well, because I know right now people are going crazy and buying up everything in the store. So even if you're not buying it because of the hysteria that's being caused right now because of the coronavirus, and you just want to have a natural cleaner, this is I'll show you how to make that for yourself, so that even once all of this dies down and the virus starts to go away and things return to normal, you can still continue making your own items at home. And honestly, I recommend making your own, because when these things come up, you'll already have the things you need on hand if a crisis comes up, if you get quarantined and you have to stay in your home. So I'm really thankful that I started my journey when I did, because as I said, I have lots of things here that people are unable to buy for themselves. And yep, that's pretty much it. So stay safe, be healthy, and I will talk to you next time. Bye guys.